What the fuck, man?
Alright, welcome back to another review. I'm Joshua Ozzie with the International Vapers Lounge, and today I'm rocking our shirt. So, just wanted to share that out. Just a bit tight on me. But it's okay. So today I'm going to do a review on a product that we got here. It's something that helps out a lot of us because we know how it is trying to get coils in. And when you try to get coils in, they become expensive, you know. I hate to say it, but in the U.S., when we buy a pack of, say, coils like this for Nord, we're only paying, what, $9 to $12 for 5 coils, and here you're paying $5 in equivalency for 1 coil. So they came out with something so good here. Smog tried it, failed with their RBA head, and with that RBA head, it didn't do very well. The reason being is you had to build it with round wire only, and it had to be a spaced coil. Reason being, spaced coils will automatically heat up evenly. So therefore, you didn't know your ohms, you didn't know how much was going through it. You just had to make a guesstimate or use a calculator or whatever. So, with that being said, the company came out. What we're going to talk about today is the WeVape, the ReeWape RBA for the Nord coil. Okay, so I'm going to come down, and this is for the RPM or the Nord, anything that takes the Nord coil and uses a Nord pod. This is not the RPM coil. They are two separate coils. The RPM coil is much larger and proprietary for the RPM mod. So I'm going to bring this down real quick. I've already got a build set up inside of my RBA. I'm going to show you how it works real quick. This should be a quick video. It basically just shows you, you know, buying one of these will save you a lot of money. You pick them up most places is 300 pesos. And then shipping. I got mine literally off Lazada, and I ordered it, and it was from another vape shop, and I got it here within the time they said it was going to be here, within like 3 or 4 days. Some places are charging 400 for it, you know, but at the end of the day, even if you're paying 300 to 500 for just this piece here, okay, you save money because these coils, just the coil itself for the Nord, and they come in different ohms, and it's hard to find it, but the average one you're going to find is going to be the 0.6 mesh. Is going to set you back average 200 pesos per coil. But I've been seeing them now going for about 250 per coil. So that's $5 for 1 coil. All right, so you pay 500 for this, just say, or 400. So that's $8. 2 of these that last what, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or this that can last almost forever because you can put your own coil in it, wick it, put it in, and it works great. I've actually been using it because I wanted to test it out and make sure I had no problems with it. No atomizer issues, no ohming issues, no problems leaking, everything. I wanted to check it out, so that's what I did. And as I was checking it out, I've had no problems. Sorry, I had to check my phone because I'm doing at least 2 reviews today. To try to catch up a little bit. I've got companies sending me stuff. I made some fun of, you know, some signage, found some stuff out, you know, made, you know, friends, whatever. You know, things are good, you know. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's bring it down. I'm going to show you the device itself. If I remember where I put, there it is. I don't use a Coil Master. heating ohm reader. There we go. I actually use the Renco, cheap little device, works great, dual battery. The new one's out, single battery. This thing's a workhorse. I use it to just burn coils, get it ready, get things going. You know, I'll be honest with you, it's not the most accurate at all, zero, but it works. It's taking a beating. I mean, you can see the bottom of mine, it's all beat up, and you know what? This has never come out of the house. This is just picking up and setting down all the time to the bar. But you know, I've dropped it. It's fallen. It's all kinds of stuff happened, and this thing just keeps on ticking. So good job on that part. You know, I'd love to see the mini, but I didn't pick one up at BVX. There was no reason for me to pick up another one. One's all I need because my main thing that I normally go through is inside of a billet box. So, or if I'm using a pod, trust me, these two pods are the only ones that I've used. Well, not the only ones. I've tried Da Vinci. I've tried another one from another place, and they're good, you know. But what I like is the fact that this has got the rebuild deck for it. The Aegis Boost that just came out, the Aegis, whatever it's called, the Boost, also has the same deck. Different coil deck, but it's by the same company, but it's for the Boost versus the Nord. Okay, I wish they would make one for the RPM. When I bring it down, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about it, and we'll go from there. All right, so here we go. So, RPM, no pod. So 15 watts, you can see the menu. Let's bring it down. Let's focus that real quick. As you can see, really clear. I haven't hit the puff counter change, but there's over 3,000 puffs on this thing, actually. So, nice thing. Renco, what I'm using today. Focus right there. Let's take off auto, make it manual. All right, so there you go. Renco is what I'm using. And that's funny, it's reversed on each side. But I picked this up really cheap, you know, and like I said, I just use it to burn coils in. Yeah, of course, it's going to do that. Right now, it's at 13 watts. Okay, so set that to the side. All right, so here's a original Nord coil, 0.6 mesh ohm coil. Okay, if you look at that tiny little hole right there, and then you got two big holes and a small one. I don't even know if this is the mesh coil. No, this is a regular coil. So, in the mesh ones, all the holes are about that big. Okay, so let's zoom this in. Focus it right there. So as you can see, that tiny hole, that's how the true meshes are. So let me see here, where'd I put my box? Here inside the package, you can see, look at those tiny holes. Okay, and that's what you're wicking through. Okay, so this is, you know, these are the 0.6 mesh. So the regular ones just have regular round wire inside of it. It's still a 0.6 ohm. It's a dual coil, I think, inside of it. So basically two coils inside. They have larger wicking channels on the sides. Right there. Let's fix the focus. Focus. All across. All right. There and there. Then you got your small and a small. Okay. You have your typical O-rings to the top. And then this is your contact base, okay? So the reason why I'm talking about the contact base, so in your ReeWape, now I don't have the original packaging that it came in, which was two little baggies, okay? And I put stuff in my own bag, except for the thread adapter. So that's why I like this. As you can see, thread adapter, the deck, and then the cap. And if you look at the cap, it mocks the Nord, then the deck, it's threaded, and then a 510 connector. So you get that. You're going to get some extra O-rings for the bottom. I don't know why they gave us a screwdriver. Oh yeah, because screws on top. But this is the first time in a long time I've seen a Barbie screwdriver being given out. And then the 2 O-rings, obviously, for the top section of the RBA. Put that away. Over. All right, so here's how I do it. You can see here the threads. You can see the notches right there. Okay, there's one on each side. That's right there is where it makes its contact. And I believe it's the airflow for it as well. On both sides. And then for the cap, it literally just comes off. So it's a tiny coil in there. I'm not going to lie to you. You're not going to fit a big coil in here. This is not going to fit anything crazy. This is probably the pushing the limits. The most people do is 4 wraps. I tried putting a 2.5 mil coil in here, and it gets way too close to this deck to keep it away from the outside, so that way it doesn't ground out. So what I did is, this is a 2 millimeter coil, and with that, it is still pretty close. You can see in the camera. Let's just focus it so you can see right there. You can still see how close that is. Okay, but it is not touching. Okay, I'll focus it again so you can see it right there. All right, so it's not touching, but it's close. Then you right here, you've got where your cotton's going to set, and I set my cotton right above it and barely going into that channel, one on each side, okay, of the coil. And then you see this front piece. Well, the front piece is for this. So if you look at it, there's your wicking channel. Here's your other wicking channel, and you see this black dot. Well, that black dot has a notch on the inside, which is what goes into this front piece. You hear it click, and you turn it. Now, you can actually control your juice flow. If you want that light juice flow because you're using like a 50-50, this is zoomed in, but that's cutting it down halfway, wide open, and you can actually turn it down so both sides have small wicking channels. Okay, but I always leave mine wide open. Then you take your 510 adapter, okay? Let's focus this, because I know someone mentioned to me it was out of focus before. Let's see if autofocus is going to be good now. All right, so all you do is thread this in. Boom, it's in, okay? Take whatever device you're using. In my case, it's the Renco. If you're using a Coil Master, cool. Or Geek Vape, or whoever else you got out there, vape, and, you know, do what you got to do. So now I'm going to take my cap off, and I'm going to make sure my coil is heating up evenly. As you see, my coil evenly heats up. There's no issues. Now, I'm going to show you something. So, on this deck, I'm going to show you how tiny these holes are. Look at that. Okay. We're going back to manual focus. Back. My camera is being goofy. All right, manual focus. There we go. Look at it. Okay. People, I wish they would quit texting me. You can see the channels right there. Those 2 holes, and you can see the wire that I'm using. This is a 32 × 2 wrapped in 38 gauge. Look at out, into out, into out. Fused Clapton. And it was the biggest Clapton that you can fit. That's 32 gauge, okay? You're not going to get any bigger than that on this deck. So 26 and 28 gauge are about your largest. I don't even think 24 will work. To be honest. So, yeah, basically you can do what you got to do on this deck. It's very small. I'm going to wick it real quick. And show you how little wicking material is actually needed for this thing. I'm actually using Malvation X, which is from the US. I actually like it. I like Cotton Bacon Prime too, but I use this. It generally doesn't. It generally just lasts a little bit longer. So, and it looks funny because some people say it looks like carpet, but it's not a carpet. I didn't tear any carpet up. I have tile flooring. Okay, so I couldn't use carpet. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna pull it in until it gets a little snug in there. And there it is right there. So now my dumb self needs to get scissors. Okay. And I go right here to about the edge right there. Edge right here, about the same. All right, so now this is where I'm going to look at where this is going. So that's too much. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edge of the deck, snip it. Edge of the deck, snip it again. Looked like I didn't even get anything on that one, but I did. So now I'm going to look at the coil. It is still too much for me and my liking. So now you see how little cotton is in here on this. I'm actually going to cut this down more. So what I do is I'm going to put it over, and I'm just going to cut. I'm going to come over here, cut. And some people, you know, want to do it at an angle, whatever, you know, and that's not me. Because, see, I just want this barely going through. And when you cut this fine pieces, they don't like to go nowhere because that's really fibrous. Sorry, focus, there we go. So now what I'll do is I'm going to add juice. I'm using Glass Series. The blueberry cheesecake is what I'm using. And what I'll do is I'll just, you know, wet up some wick, you know, see where we're at. The reason why this is going to be a little longer is because there's only like 1 or 2 videos online, and one of them is from WeVape, and they really do not go into any type of depth of how to do stuff, what to do, or anything. So I want to go into a little bit more depth, show you how I do it, show you how I wick it, so that way if you decide to pick up one, you're going to be able to see. So now I can see here that this is going to go too far into that channel, so I can look at it now and say, okay, so I want this a little bit shorter at the very bottom. So I'm going to snip that off. Bring it up. All I do is I just get it right there. Sorry, so you can see this. It's hard to kind of do this on the camera because of how tiny this deck is. But there, when I get done, you're going to see there's barely any cotton in this thing. Because I want my cotton sitting above that well, basically, with barely anything going in. And that smacking sound you hear is me smacking the cotton off. Because it doesn't want to come off sometimes. Okay, and it still doesn't want to come off. So luckily, I have a paper towel right here. Clean off my scissors. Get off that funky juice. Move it over. I see that this is not evened. So snip that off as well. And then see where it sets. I push it onto the coil, like kind of pack it to it, so you don't have to worry about the cotton, you know, getting dry or whatever. And then, you know, you can just pinch your cotton up some and just get it to set right above that juice well that's there. So that way it will actually wick up, and then it's thicker on top, so therefore you don't have to worry about it. So basically, there's about how I've got it, you know, so you can kind of see it. Let's focus for you. Okay, fire it, 13 watts. So you can kind of see this. It's that crazy camera thing, but yeah, it's only 13 watts. Okay. And it fires really well. I've had no issues. Then all you have to do is come back and you look for that spot and you find your black dot. You push it down and then you turn it. And then as you turn it, you're now going to take it out of the 510 adapter. Watch it pop out. And then it will unscrew rather easy. Look at that. And then guess what you need? One of these. A Nord pod. That's all it is. Brand new. I bought it at the expo. I've already primed the cotton inside. And as you remember, the two cutout edges are for it to slide in. Then you open your little fill port. Now what I did, because I've been using this, I actually I bought a little syringe to help me out with some of these. You know, sometimes when I do my billet box bridges, they don't want, you know, I wick it wrong, or the, you know, I'm switching a flavor, whatever the case may be. That little syringe comes in handy because you don't really waste your juice that way. So now all I have to do is put the juice in. The pod is ready pretty much. It gives you a little spit back every once in a while until you get going. But you really can't see too well in this because it is a smoked deck or cap. But there are little bubbles coming out of it when the juice is inside. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to show that right here. So we'll set that down. I'm going to bring it back over, bring it back up on top. So I'll see you in a second. All right, so there you go. That was the NordPod RBA unit. Okay, so inside it is wicking and is wicked already. I do get sometimes a little bit of juice, you know, that trickles through from when you first burn it in. But it's really easy to get it out. It's nothing bad. It's going to happen. It's just like any other deck that you build, you're going to see it. So you get used to it, especially on billet boxes when you're building a bridge for the boil tank. You kind of get used to having that thing. So here it is. No pod. Comes up. Take your pod. Slap it in. Pod attached. So there it is. So you take your pod out. Pod removed. Pod attached. So there you go. So I've got it set at 15 watts. Now what I can say is this. The flavor that comes off of this is tremendous. It has the flavor of a mesh coil to me, personally, if not better. You're able to use a fine Clapton, okay? And you're able to use round wire if you want to. This coil ohms out, it's saying now a 0.9, okay? I'm getting no spit back. I'll prove it. Clean paper towel. I put it over. See? No magic tricks. Paper towel is dry. Okay? So underneath, the only wetness came through was the wetness from when I burned it in. So now all I have to do is just go in here, because it has a funky bottom base. If you can, let's see if I can focus that. It's like a triangle on this thing right there. Zoom it in. For your contact point, and then there's your pin for, you know, your post and all that stuff. So, you know, just showing that off. All you got to do is just make sure, you know, once you get it set in there, that you just go in, you clean the juice out of the contact area inside, because if this juice sits there too long and starts seeping through, especially using a 50-50, that's not good for you. Put the pod back in. Still reading 9.934. It's still an RPM. It tastes like a mesh coil. It's so much better. So the ReeWape, ReeWape. Someone can't spell. ReeWape. I guess V was hard to pronunciate for them, but so ReeWape technology says it in the back. It says perfectly compatible with the RPM NordPod and NordPod. Says it twice. But what they're actually talking about is it's compatible with this pod for the RPM and for your old school Nord, the original Nord that was non-adjustable. So with this, on the adjustments, I can actually take it up to 40 watts with the RBA. Now, I don't want it at 40 watts because then it starts getting a burn taste. That's 13 watts. The same way I burned it in. I brought it down by 2 watts. Five-second hit, no problems. Pod is not warm. It's a little warm, but that's because it's drawing in. But this thing doesn't get hot enough that it burns your lips off or burns your lips at all. I'll take it down to 10 watts. And you see vapor production with this thing. It's still there, but it's even more to me. Because see, when you build it, you can build it with round wire. And say you ohm it out at a point, what, 0.5? You know, which you only have the options of 0.6, I think a 0.9 and a 1 point or 1 ohm, 1.2 or something like that coil. And your max wattage, I think, is like 15 watts on the Nords themselves. On these it's only max is like 15 watts on them. It doesn't say it on here. I actually had to look it up. But when you build on your own, you can basically do what you want to it now, and there is no cutoff on this on the RPM. So I hope you enjoyed this review. You know, this is the ReeWape ROK RUOK RBA head for the Nord and the Nord pod. Okay, and the reason why there's two is because there's the Nord, just a basic system, and then there's the RPM, which is a pod base, which is, you know, up here, and it can also fit inside here. So it's cross compatible with both of them. So you could get two of them and have, if you have both of them, you grab one. Go ahead, do it. You know, you can build your coil out with, you know, round wire and get over a 1 ohm build. And if you like salt nick, you can run salt nick in it. Okay. Now remember one thing, these pods are not meant to be taken apart, these caps. They are fixed. I tried it on one, okay, and I ended up buying a new pod because of that. I did want to try, see if I could take it apart. And what it did, it made it leak around the edges. So, that's it. I wanted to share my review on this, show you the build I put in it. It's really meant for around 4 wraps, to put, and it's really light cotton inside. I get amazing flavor off of it, tremendous. It saves a lot of money in the end of the day because buying coils here in the Philippines, it's a pain in the butt, okay? And they're overpriced. I don't care if you're importing them in or not, and you're trying to say, hey, business is business. Well, guess what? Why don't you buy a ton of these things, sell them, get people to buy them, have them more come to you, and get these little things instead, and then, you know, we're not importing a lot of stuff in, maybe, but you're going to be a supplier of that particular one. I have another review coming up soon of the new pod-based system. I don't know if you call it pod or AIO, but it basically has an external battery. Is where this has, I think, a 15 or 2,000 mAh battery built into it. Okay, and that's, you know, what that has in it. I'm used to building small coils. So here's an example of my billet box. Okay, you're not going to see it on camera, but it's only, this one's only at 1.28. I have another one at 1.6. I am using the KDES batteries right now. I'm testing them out. I have 30 Qs, the new VTC 5Ds, and I also got the KDES Blues, which are supposed to be 40 amps, but I doubt that. Not for an 18650. And they're 2800 mAh, I think, or something like that. 3100 mAh, they say. My plan is when I go to US to send one of these off to Mooch and let him run some testing on it, because he only has the test of the old KDES batteries. So I want him to have it so he can do it. Shout out to Jazz from SOB Pasai, or Pasai, however you say it, Vape Shop, for getting me out some of the 5Ds, so that way I could try them out, because I'm not traveling from where I live all the way there. to pick up batteries. So he got them out to me. Lala moved them to me. So I tested them in that. And I've been running them in, anything external that it can. Just seeing which battery is going to be best, on big builds and external things, see how long they last. That's basically where I'm at with it. So that was the ReeWape RBA head for the Nord and Nord Pod. I hope you enjoyed the review. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel, like and share, so I can keep doing more. Last thing is, if you're a shop and you have a new product or a juice maker or whatever, I'll tell you this. I will do a review for you, but you will send me it, send them to me, because I'm very particular on juice. And with that, I will be honest about it. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. If it doesn't taste the way, you're saying it is, fine. I'm not going to do it. If you send me some crazy stuff, I probably will not review it. I'm going to be honest with you. And do not send me menthol. I am not a menthol person, and I will put that off to the side somewhere or give it to somebody else. I'm a big pastry person, and I know a lot of new companies are trying to get out there. Yes, I've only got a couple videos out right now, but that's because I get everything on my own. Okay, I can review juices all day long, but we've got a ton of them out there. But these items here, anything in the Philippines that we can get that people want to be known about, send it. If it's a mod, you can send me the mod, I will review it, and I will send you the mod back. I am not asking you to give me a mod, okay? But it will help. Hey, I need this promoted out. You got it on here, you got a channel. This will be on ProVape's channel. This will go into my group in International Vapers Lounge. It will go around, in different places. Reason being is I want to put this out so a lot of people can see it. These groups and stuff. This is not something that I just hope people go to YouTube and look me up and say, oh, I know him, he's in their group. No. International Vapers Lounge, you come in, you put a request in. Remember though, if you don't answer questions, you get an automatic deny. There is no zero tolerance. There we go, that word. Zero tolerance for that one. Okay. So, with that, that's a review for today for that one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's something that you can get. I don't know right now. I know Dencot, however you say it, distribution, had some at the show, but they sold out that quick. So these things are going like hotcakes. You can look on Lazada, and you might be able to pick up one. I got mine with shipping was $3.90. Okay, so it was $3.40. At the show, they were selling for $300. They sold a box in less than 5 minutes, and they had no more to sell because I was going to pick a second one up for a friend here. And I knew someone else, and they have a shop. They have them, so I'm going to get one from them. So that's it for today. I'm Joshua Ozzie, and I'll talk to you next time.